Right. So is everyone in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we good to record?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Okay, so considering leading this one, can I get assurance that like nobody is gonna get kicked out this time? Like last time.
Oh, go kicked out last time, son.
Oh well, Rich kicked me out, see, and to be honest, he's got zero authority to kick me out. He's got zero authority.
When do we plan to start? Where's Tom gone? I thought Tom was leading.
Oh, he's gone. Is he gone? Is Tom gone? Is Tom
Can
gone?
you tell
Is
me
he
why
gone?
you're laughing? Why are you laughing and being rude, Gareth?
Oh, he's gone. Here we go again. He's back. Gone. Then he's gone. This is SteegCast.
Right, everyone. So we are SteegCast. We hope you enjoyed that little tidbit there. Yep, there was something up there that you can click, so I can take you to the context of that, which I'm sure is probably needed.
I would imagine that like a lot of foreign viewers, like non-British viewers, probably didn't get that reference whatsoever.
No, exactly.
The one guy is the young guy. The young guy who's like on the side of one of the people on the call. He's the fucking worst. The guy's a fucking total
He's so
dick.
Angry.
Absolute dick. I mean, they're all very pedantic, but that one dude is so fucking nasty. Yeah.
Is that the vice chairman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's everyone's time been going since the last call we've had?
It's been a fucking while, hasn't it?
It
How many
has.
babies have you had?
Any more
As far as I
surprises?
know.
Like, yeah.
Just the one.
No, it's been pretty boring to be fair. I've had a guts full to be honest with you. I'd like to go out to places and just do stuff,
Be good to get the
said-
film in, like.
I don't know if I said on the cast, but I was like, I'm not doing another remote one on season 3. We're going to wait until we can do it properly again, but it's just not.
Oh, but several meltdown.
It's just not going to happen, is it? So here we are.
Yeah, I want to do another one.
We wanted to go into like this new season now with just all together like we used to, but it's not possible. Like I can see this lasting for at least half the season, if not all the season that we do. So yeah, it's
But
unfortunate.
we have upgraded our audio technique, haven't we? So there's
Yep.
that. Hopefully that'll pay off a little bit, and people, there'll be no dropouts, and yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
if
it
you're
should be good.
listening on Spotify rather than watching on YouTube, it doesn't sound a complete arse.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So today was initially something that's kind of past now, so we'll be speaking about what was going to be the topic in hindsight now. But I kind of want to speak about something else at the moment, and that is what we've got on our backgrounds, most of us anyway, which is stocks, which have been like the big thing of at least Reddit, which is basically, I can't go outside anymore, so that's my world at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
Ironically, I'm spending less time on Reddit than I ever have. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
bored with it. Like, I need to switch up my subs and stuff,
Does anyone else, do they know the background of this, of what's been going on?
So wasn't it basically the stock exchange? Well, they were gonna short loads of stocks. Hedge funds were gonna short GameStop to make money, but shorting a stock means that if someone else buys the stock that you're shorting, then you lose a ton of money on it. Essentially, isn't it? That's the
Yeah,
vision.
that's pretty much exactly it.
Yeah.
You'll need to know this for the story ahead, but shorting, yeah, that's it's basically when you buy a stock, usually like a normal purchase, and the stocks go up, you make money. Shorting is pretty much you sell something that you don't have, and as the business loses money, you earn money. So all these like millionaires and all that were chucking, God knows how much money into shorting the stock of GameStop, which it was on his way out anyway. Let's be honest.
It's like placing a bet against something failing, isn't it? That's basically
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you call it in football when you bet? A lay bet, is it?
a lay bet. Yeah.
You bet that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bet that GameStop are not going to be sky high stonks to the moon.
Yeah, and I imagine they were making quite a few quid off that. But there was this fella called his username or handle is called Deep Fucking Value, and he's
Of course it was.
he's had fucking stonks in GameStop for God. I think I read like 5-6 years, you know, and he's like well into this shit. He's still a young guy. I don't understand how he managed to get into it, but he's like well into this, and he noticed that the hedges were kind of shorting GameStop. So I think what must have happened, this is speculation, you know, he spread it around a bit and all that. He was quite a well-known investor anyway. So he spread this around a bit. It kind of caught on, and you know,
Coronavirus.
exactly, yeah. You know how things are with the internet. If when it triggers, it goes up like.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's happened, but now the SEC, which is the authority on this, they're actually investigating this guy, Deep Fucking Value, and he's going on trial and to court and everything because they believe that he was purposefully manipulating the market. Which
Don't like it when it's done to them, do they?
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Like,
It's the thing. Like they were planning to short it, and they all agreed to.
yeah,
So
they
it's
were
I don't see
collaborating. Yeah,
What's the
that's
issue with
manipulating the market in itself?
why is it illegal to plan? Oh, I'll tell you what we should do. We'll all short this at the same time. It'll give us loads of money. And then someone else finds out, oh, fucking hell, look at these cunts. Let's do the opposite of that. We'll make all the money and they'll lose it.
Because they're
Why
rich
is that
and
illegal?
they're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, but surely that's literally just a
Basically.
decision that you spoke to a couple, you know, maybe a bunch of people, maybe a couple hundred people about.
yeah, a Discord chat probably. Like,
Why is that illegal? That's just a financial, you know, these financial subs and forums, and that's what they do, though.
that's what I assumed. Yeah, but apparently it's collaboration to manipulate the market. What I
If you
don't.
say to me now, GameStop's going down, buy GameStop. Is that, are you going to go to fucking jail for telling me?
Well, exactly. At what point does it become kind of collusion or collaboration to do that? At what level? Like, you know?
I think you've got to have the important phrase at the start of it that every financial YouTuber does is this is not financial advice, and then just go ahead and say I've given my disclaimer. It's fine.
I've heard that phrase so much these last couple of weeks. Oh my God! Like, yeah. So all these people that he was telling were like, yeah, GameStop. You know, they're shorting it, which means that the value of the stocks go down really low. So just get in now. And that caught like wildfire and shot up the value of the stocks to incredible amounts. Absolutely fucking incredible. So I decided to jump on that bandwagon, didn't I?
Yeah.
Right. So this is kind of my experience, my story of what's
Rise and
happened,
fall,
what's
son.
been going on.
Stonk story.
The Stonks story, yeah, SteegCast Stonk story. So the first day I was in it, I chucked down, I think it was 45 on AMC. I didn't have enough to go into GameStop. Chucked 45 shares at AMC. That was around the 13-18 mark, and that was actually a little bit high. But of course, you know, it was my first time doing it. I didn't know to watch the stock market to
No,
look for
you're
a
testing
dip.
the water, and it's just like,
Yeah,
Well,
we did the
I was
same.
I was testing the water by just diving in, but
yeah.
you know, you got to learn these lessons, haven't you? So the first night, I was down. I think it was 43 quid by the time the market shut, right? And I was like, "Fuck," you know. By the time the market shuts, you can't do anything when the market shuts. So I was just, you know, playing the waiting game, nervous as fuck till the next day, you know, pit in my stomach. So the next day come around. 2:30 is when the American stock exchange opens. So
What
that's
time is
when
that out? 2:30 time or their time?
2 hour time. Yeah, I
Right,
think
right,
it might
right,
be
right,
about
right.
eight, half eight over there.
Right.
So you got to wait till 2:30 for like the big booms or the big dips. So that come along. I was I was watching it. I was fucking shaking. Like you can't not be properly invested in this.
Right.
Pun.
Yeah, pun. So within a minute, I was plus 50 quid. So I just went taking that out, took that out, waited for the dip, put a buy limit on AMC when it dropped down to 12.
Right.
I achieved that. I got
Sailing then, smooth sailing.
smooth sailing. So eventually, I ended up with something like I think it was 45 AMCs at 12 quid. Then I kind of had enough money to get into GameStop. So I bought GameStop when it was 318. So I jumped in there at that, right?
That's per share.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not what it cost on the app that I was using.
Yeah.
But yeah, per share, it was, as I say, up there, boys.
It ain't that now. I was surprised. I didn't know it went that high.
It went higher than that. That was like a dip. That was at the time. It was up to I saw 1,000. It was fucking up there like
Jesus.
So I bought it. I think it was about 318. As I bought it, it just started to fall, right? And before I continue the story, you need to know the theory of buy the dip, right? And what that is when the stock falls, you buy it when it's really low, and of course, it'll go back up and you sell it when it's high. So GameStop come down. I was like, shit. I was a bit shaky. Every AMC was keeping me afloat at this point because AMC was up, GameStop was falling down. That was about minus 50. I thought AMC and GameStop kind of trend. They kind of on similar levels, generally speaking, towards the end of the day. So I bought the dip in GameStop. Did it stop dipping though? Is the fucking question. No, it fucking did not. Right.
Oh man.
And then so all of this happened within the blink of an eye, right? I mean, so fast that I couldn't even press the button, and if I wanted to, my app wouldn't let me fucking process it anyway. So I've written all this down because it was 20 minutes after it was just a blur. You know when you get like so emotionally invested about something or angry that it just blurs and you forget. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. So plus 45 on AMC at £12 and plus 1 GameStop share. AMC skyrockets at plus £100 on the account. GME starts dipping. That was expected, so I bought one more on the dip. That's where we are now in the story. Now, at minus 50 on GME in the dip. AMC was holding, still £100. GME continues to fall, so I bought another one at really low. Right. So GME continues to dip, and right now, I'm like, shit, even the one I bought at the dip is losing me fucking money. So I'm sitting there with my phone in my hand shaking. My girlfriend comes in, she's like, oh, are you winning?
Are you winning, son?
Yeah. I'm like, it's not good, babe. It's not good. So GameStop now is triggering my account loss notification, right? So I got to offload 2 GMEs as fast as I can. I sell 15 in AMC just to kind of cover the losses, try and stay afloat. AMC was holding strong, and then the market shut, right? I was down. I can't remember how much I was down when the market shut. That must have been, I don't know, say minus 50 that day, right? So I've gone from plus 50. I've gone from minus 43 to plus 50 to minus fucking 50, probably more, within a day, right? So in between then and Tuesday, what I own at the moment then was 30 AMC and 1 GME. I look on NASDAQ for the pre-market price, which shows you the pre-market price, because when retail investors stop investing, people on the stock market whose job it is, they can continue. So the prices still rise and fall regardless of whether we're allowed to or not. So GME is down on the pre-market price by more than half, and AMC is down by £2. Start shit myself again. So I figure I'll sell GME on open at a loss and keep AMC because I could, it was doing me all right at that point. My P&L, profit and loss, is at a loss. Available funds will just float in that. Like AMC was still up, so my fingers are crossed. Then Tuesday came, and Harper's too. So the stock market opens. GME, you show me, yeah. Yeah.
I decided to get in at this point, which is a mistake, as we find out.
I think you were on AMC at this point when you showed.
AMC only. I didn't touch Jamie at all.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So GameStop and AMC fucking tank. Both of them at the same time. Absolutely fucking tank. The app stutters, right? The app just fucking crashes because of all the traffic. That means I couldn't sell GME fast enough to even sell it at a loss.
You sat there like pressing buttons.
I just sat there smashing fucking buttons, right? I'm reasonably sure that I hit the buttons so much that I sold all my GME and then I accidentally shorted GME, right? Which boosted me within seconds up 60 quid, right? That was just
a lot of times
happy
around
accident.
that half two peak in activity. You like you go through it, you close an order, you'd open a new one, and it just fail.
Absolutely,
you go through, you'd be like, you've sold this or you've bought this, like fantastic, thank fuck, and then you get a message 30 seconds later, failed. You're like, and now it's dropped another 600 million. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all, really. It's pretty shoddy. They should have the capacity to be able to deal with that kind of volume. But,
absolutely, definitely.
But that's how they make their money, innit? You can't fucking sell or whatever.
Well, we're even on like a lesser known app, I'd say.
Yeah,
like,
I suppose.
It hasn't even got memes about it, so it's fucking... it's probably really bad, like, to be fair. So, in the end, I managed to to offload everything, and the remaining balance in my account was £6.08.
Oh,
what was the initial investment?
I don't know if I want to say it. all right, I've got to have now. The initial investment was £250.
Oh my god, Tom.
Gone.
Jesus.
But it was gone within like the matter of seconds. Like I had no time to even process what was happening. I was just shaking and fucking. So now this is where I live. This is my current house. It's the only thing I can
That's where
afford.
the magic happened.
It's a nice box though, man.
It's not bad. Like I got 2 boxes here. If you look, I've laid one out.
Yeah.
I spent a few days on the exchanges as well, making like pennies here, pennies there. Things go up and down really quickly. I turned £20 into £30 and then lost pretty much all of it on the same AMC thing that Tom lost all his money on. But I just want to add and comment on how fast it went wrong. That's what really
fast.
It's insane how fast it happened. Because I've been on it for a few days at that point. You don't look at it for a minute or two. You can lose a few quid. For that, I was literally glued to it, and then if I'd hesitated on buy-in, I would have been fine. If I'd gone like, should I do this or should I just like maybe didn't press the button properly, I would have been scot-free. That's how quick it was. Like because I bought it. And then I don't think it was within 15 seconds, it was just catastrophically unrecoverable. And then within a minute, the account was closed.
Well, what did you buy AMC at?
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's dropped all the way down and it hasn't stopped dropping.
Because I was buying it at 12 and I was making plus, I was making like fuck tons, like 5 times the amount.
It started rising again day before yesterday. I bought it at 9.5. I've got some now at 9.5 and it's dropped to 6. It is worthless. Like, so I'm again at a loss, which I haven't sold. So I'm just literally, I can't do anything in my account because I'm holding all this worthless AMC stock. But it's been fun.
So yesterday, just as revenge yesterday, I shorted GameStop and made a tenner. So I needed it. Like, I'm sorry, Wall Street Bets, you're probably gonna fucking dox me or whatever. But fuck, I could not hold those stocks. Like, there was not enough in my fucking account to stay afloat.
So at
Typically,
the
everything.
time,
Sorry.
at the time of recording this now, what is like the next, I don't know, target
Meme.
for? Yeah, the next meme
Next
basically
meme
for
stock.
this. Yeah.
There were four initially. It was GameStop, which was a big one. There was AMC, which was the next one. There was BlackBerry and Nokia.
BlackBerry, yeah.
But apparently, BlackBerry's projected to go to, if Reddit didn't get involved, it would have already been on 20, and it was forecasted to go up to 30 at the end of this year. But with Reddit's involvement and the market manipulation, you don't know what the fuck's going on now. And this is the thing about it, about the stock market now is with, how many users, how many subscribers has Wall Street Bets got now? It's up to 6 million, 7 million?
It's top of the most most popular subreddits currently. I think it's top of that.
And can you imagine the amount of cash injection into the stock market that's going to do it? And just what newbie like me, noob fucking investors are going to do to the stock market? We're going to ruin it, man.
I reckon a lot of people are going to accidentally lose a lot of money. I think it's a good thing for them, for the stock market anyway.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the risk involved where they kind of have a monopoly over what they pump and dump, to use a crypto term. All of a sudden now there's loads of bored teenagers doing it. It's market manipulation, whereas they've been doing it for fucking decades, and it's been all right. That's what is a bit of a
Yeah, it's because rich people are doing it, it's fine. But then when the little man starts to think, oh, I'll give that a go. It's like, nah.
Literally in this case.
Yeah.
So many
Wall Street
puns
Bets
like
is
that.
quite a toxic place, though, isn't it? And they all refer to each
man.
other as autists and stuff. I don't really.
I quite find it funny.
autists.
What does that mean?
I mean, on Wall
you're
Street
autistic.
Bets, it means that you're a genius. It means that you've followed, done your due diligence.
I thought they were called brokers or whatever. Or... I confused.
It's like you've gone full autist. You just steamrolled through it and put loads of money on it. That's the way I read
No.
it. I don't know.
Autist is you're super clever about it. You've done your due diligence and you know the stock market. The smooth brain and the retards. What I am.
The smooth brain one is brilliant. That is a good answer.
Smooth brain and retards are the ones that just chuck money around on people's suggestions, like what I done.
I got the terminology wrong, but that's what I meant. It's toxic. If you're doing well, you're an autist. If you're not, you're a smooth brain. It's not very nice words. But these are used affectionately. It's like 4chan, and I think I can say it in this context. The fags. Everyone's a fag on 4chan.
Yeah.
If it's just used as a hey fags. Oh, hey betards is another one, isn't it? It's like
4chan is just that's a cesspool, really.
it's the arsehole of the internet.
It's awful. Awful place.
Internet.
They like their on Wall Street Bets, and they like their syringe emojis as well. Isn't that like
injecting cash
rockets.
or something?
I thought it was a syringe. I thought it was a
Rockets
syringe
and
they do for like. Wasn't there like for the battle ahead or something, and they have loads of syringes? Or did I just completely?
Could be cash injection, that one.
Cash injections. That's what I was thinking. You get the rockets and the moons, and
yeah.
I thought mooning was a crypto term, though. It seems to be interchangeable, really. It's worth mentioning Dogecoin as well, which is now up quite a lot at the moment.
Thanks.
They've
Is that
pumped.
thanks to Elon Musk?
It is.
I don't know why they picked Dogecoin, though. It's really not a functional coin, is it? I don't know.
It wasn't it Elon Musk tweeted about it being the people's coin or something,
Dogecoin.
and it just fucking soared. It's ridiculous.
He's a giant troll, like
He is
Elon Musk is.
Yeah.
Complete, like.
If there's one cryptocurrency, and I'd like someone to correct me on this because I'm not a crypto expert, it's Ethereum is the usable people's coin. Bitcoin is so big, it's unwieldy. Ethereum is, mind you, Dogecoin is a Ethereum-based coin, so it kind of works.
Ethereum is for the more retail investors, and like say we go in at Ethereum would probably be the best bet, is it?
I think it's more of a realistic use. It's a lot lower per coin than it is Bitcoin. Is insane value, to the point where they make it. This is not new, but they have different names now for different denominations of Bitcoin. Like 0.001 is something, 0.00111 is something. You know what I mean? They
Right.
have different names. I think they call them Satoshis. I could be wrong. I didn't really hang around with Bitcoin much because it's so much money I couldn't afford to.
That's ringing a bell, actually. Is that the guy that made it?
I think it's the guy that they speculate who may have made it. They don't actually know who made Bitcoin. That's
mad. That's crazy.
It's nuts. Crazy, like.
How do you
Again,
not
I
know
could be
who
wrong,
made
but
something?
they think it was that guy. Like it's the most likely it was him. Which is nuts, man. There we go.
I remember a Bitcoin phase though, son. It's about 3 years ago, perhaps 4. Remember a
It was
Bitcoin phase?
2018. 2018, yeah. It was again desperately. It was because it was all over the news and it had peaked again. It was the first major peak of the recent few, and it was about like just made me aware of it, to be honest. And I started looking into altcoins, and people were like literally hitting like insane spikes on alt, similar to this, just going in, buying it at fucking worthless lows, and then it would just rocket, and people would make shitloads of money.
Isn't it that joke? I'm probably going to slaughter this, but a kid goes up to his dad, says, "Dad, can I have a Bitcoin to go buy some sweets?" He says, "Son, why do you need £15,000? He says, "Oh, what do you mean? I just needed to go get some sweets." "Why do you need £12,000? It just keeps fucking.
All right. Well, yeah, this is exactly, and this is why it can't be used as a real currency. It's way too fucking volatile.
There's that story, obviously, that I've mentioned in our group chat about Lily Allen in the late 2000s, wasn't it? Where she was offered a gig for so many hundred Bitcoin and turned it down. And if she didn't turn it down, that amount would be worth billions today, and she would be a billionaire.
There's a story that pops up around our way often about some guy had however many million on his worth now on his hard drive. And
His
he
Bitcoin
goes
wallet
to the
was
local
on
landfill and checks for it, if he can find his hard drive or something. Or
Yeah, that's right.
see now
It
one?
was wallet was stored on a detachable hard drive, and or maybe it was a USB stick or whatever, and gone. I don't know how much it's worth, but it's
Apparently, this is just word of mouth, but like 50 Cent apparently filed bankruptcy or went for a divorce, and his wife took like more than 50 Cent off him. But he forgot that he had money in Bitcoin. Is it tax deductible, Bitcoin?
I'm not sure.
Because I know stocks you have to declare. You have to declare your goddamn
I'm pretty
stock.
sure you have to. I think if it's in crypto, then you don't have to. But if you withdraw it into cash, then it's basically investments, isn't it? Market. I think I looked into this before. There are cash points and stuff that allow you to withdraw Bitcoin in a cash.
Not in the UK though, is it? I think that's more like Europe and stuff.
You will see them. I saw one in Manchester. Funny enough, when we went up to that David Lynch thing, I saw one then. I've seen one in Bristol. I've seen one in Bristol. It's a cash point with a Bitcoin sign over it. It's really not.
So do
fancy.
they have like do they have a fixed rate for it, or?
No, you get. I think it's like a card you can get. I think one of the exchanges does it. Basically allows you to access your crypto wallet or whatever, or maybe it acts as an online wallet and you have to put the funds in there, and then you can like withdraw it through a hole in the wall into real money equivalent.
I must have saw that then, son.
Yeah, it's literally a cash point with a Bitcoin sign above it. It's like withdraw Bitcoin here.
Ah.
I've seen one in Amsterdam as well many years ago. I think it's
I know the European. Right.
They probably take a commission for doing that. That's how it works. That's another thing with crypto is the insane fees of moving stuff around. It's just it's not for me.
Another thing along similar lines is, and I'm sure some of us in here probably collected Pokemon cards back in the day.
Oh, of course,
some shape or form. And so I've watched a couple of videos recently about like the original set and how much some of the cards are worth, and it's like I'm basically on the verge of tears looking at how much some of these cards are worth, knowing that mine went missing, that I had like most of them because I collected tons, and even like the small ones like a red cheeks or a yellow cheeks Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, the original starters, as well as like Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, all of them, and they're worth thousands. And I had like there was one I saw the other day, which is from the second set, which is like the Team Rocket set, and he was a dark Charizard, and I remember the day I pulled one of them from a pack in. Do you remember you remember One Stop in town? I think it was.
I remember
we used to
One
go
Stop.
there.
One Stop
okay.
Shop.
And I remember pulling one in there. I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" And that Charizard apparently can be worth near £8,000 these days.
No. Oh man,
And-
you could lose that all on the stock market.
yeah. But like,
I remember my sister had done a Dark
so bad,
Raichu,
like.
which wasn't even numbered. It was outside of the number scheme. It was like a secret one or whatever. I don't know if that's worth anything. But even at the time, everyone was like, Dark Raichu. But a lot of people back in those days, you'd go to those meets and you show off your flimsy Charizard, and then you'd have these nerds that would have like Japanese ones and that, you know? So
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
fuck, like, I always thought they were rare. Maybe they're just imports. I don't know. But, how the I traded a Charizard shiny for a Undertaker figure.
Oh,
Was it-
never.
That was
With
it.
your
Was
cousin.
yeah. I remember that.
He had his Charizard. I had some old WWF Warzone era Undertaker.
The Charizard, the shiny Charizard from the first base set, that is the most valuable card in that set. That is worth.
Does it have to be like a first edition or anything, or is it just
It's got to be a certain grade. They have gradings, like from 1 to 10.
comic thing? Like,
So it's got to be in good nick
Yeah,
then.
it's got to be a decent nick, but you can still get maybe a couple of hundred, even if it's in not like battered, but.
When did these become
like
worth so much money? I know they've always been kind of sought after.
It's
but,
the
like, I
last-
remember looking at.
Last decade, more or less. I
I've got
guess.
some in the house. I'll have to have a look.
Dig them out, but you never know what you have. Like you could have.
I
you
have
could be
got some original first edition thing, but they just standard kind of.
You could be sitting on a couple of £100 and you don't know
I got
about it.
Pikachu and stuff. All your standard.
the classics.
But there
I need
was
to look for that Dark Raichu now.
there was a video of Logan Paul.
Paul Logan.
Yeah, he done a box opening with a guy. It was like a lot of controversy about it online, where the guy that he had to kind of price them he was basically trying to raise the market price by doing that podcast or not podcast, like that video of them unboxing it. So whenever a card would come out, he would like inflate it by a couple of thousand, just so people were like, oh my god, it's worth that. And it did do a job. So like some of the cards that he was saying, like he said a Bulbasaur was worth like £3,000, and it's not. It's worth more like 300 to 500. But he basically inflated a load of different cards by doing that. So essentially doing what they were doing with the stock market, really. And you get the same with Magic the Gathering cards. There's actually a YouTuber I watch. It's called Saffron Olive, and he always looks at market prices for Magic the Gathering cards, and he actually posted about GameStop saying, I've seen this type of rise in Magic cards before, and I know exactly what happens when I see this type of rise. It's going to just plummet, and it did. And that was just by reading Magic cards, so yeah.
There are Dark Raichus on YouTube, on eBay, between 30 and 110.
Not bad, not bad.
And pretty much everything in the dark ranges between 20 and 70, 80 quid, mainly. Some of them a bit more.
Does depend on I think when the set came out, because I know a set is so long, but if it's like at the beginning of the set being released, is worth more and stuff like that. I don't really understand it to its fullest, but I know there are certain
Goldback is
cards.
167.
I wonder why some are worth more than others. I know like rarity and stuff, but like Golbat.
Yeah, it goes by popularity, and it goes by because they don't make those cards anymore. So there's only so many in the world now.
Fair.
Out in
I
rotation.
tell you what I have got, Rich. I've got a few complete Berlin Premier League sticker albums from the early 1994, 1995, 1996, and so on.
Are
I
the
don't know if they
stickers
worth
stuck?
anything these days.
There might be a market for it, but you never know. Yeah, you know, there's collectors for everything. So
Remember Pogs? Remember those Star Wars Pogs?
I got
When
a
they
full set of them. I got a
when
full
they
folder of them.
fucking re-released Star Wars for no reason in the mid-90s. Those Star Wars Pogs.
Yeah,
I've CGI'd a Jawa riding a Bantha. This re-released the entire film.
1997, I think that was, wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. The
Something like that.
trilogy release.
somewhere around there. Maybe somewhere around
It
there.
probably was in time for the
I am
you know
wrong,
the,
either
the,
comment
the,
below.
the it's probably in time for the prequels, wasn't it, which were obviously underway at that point. To come out in '99, the first one.
Get that hype up, like.
And
I
how
did-
we thought the prequels were so bad, and we never knew that all this
Yeah,
final
it's like me
trilogy
buying
was
in the
coming
dip.
20
innit?
years
Yeah.
later.
It's like me
Oh, I
buying
think-
in the dip. It just gets worse.
I think the final trilogy's better than the first, the 90s one.
Well, it's a recurring theme where I've never seen the final film in each trilogy because I just lose interest.
Well, I went to the cinema to see The Phantom Menace when it came out, and I fell asleep
Same.
today.
I
It's the
saw
only
Phantom
film I've fallen
Menace.
asleep.
I love the pod racing. I can't remember anything about it. I remember that little bug that talks like this. What though, man? Talking like this. And that's all I remember. And Jar Jar Binks, obviously.
The fight scene's pretty cool, though. The fight scene at the end's pretty cool with Darth Maul. I thought that was-
Yeah, it's when they leaping through the air and stuff. Like I know they're supposed to be Jedi's in the how is this turned into Star Wars? But they're supposed to be Jedi's in the prime of their like powers. But then when they're jumping through the air, like mega jumps, it just looks so fake.
Think
Like
it's
Ewan
Darth
McGregor, like
Maul was like,
heroin power.
Darth Maul was like the face of that kind of film. But if you look
He's
at
barely
his
in it.
time in it, it's
Yeah.
about 10 minutes time. If
Yeah,
that,
it's
perhaps.
ridiculous.
And he had like 5 words or something. It was barely any words at all he spoke.
We
Maybe
met
had
Darth
any
Maul,
words,
didn't we,
didn't
though, right?
We did meet Darth Maul, yeah.
I thought he
Yeah,
didn't
we met
speak.
him.
So
I
he
thought
did.
Darth Maul didn't speak.
I'm sure he spoke like a handful of words. I'm sure it was. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, man. I could be completely wrong. I'm not a massive fan of Star Wars. Most of it, like like the original trilogy, I just find them
Yeah.
boring as hell. I just can't watch them. So,
I have a soft spot for him. I think probably because I grew up watching him. But yeah.
We
Fisher
met
as
Mr.
well.
Dave Prowse,
Really?
me as well, Rich, who passed away recently.
yeah, we
Mr.
did.
Dave Prowse, we met.
What
my
did he
little-
say to you, guys?
She's a traitor and a spy.
What
Yeah,
did he
he,
say?
I remember his accent. He's a very distinctive, like West Country. Not Cornwall, Bristol, perhaps, but he was
Yeah.
Bristol, West
GRDH.
Country.
He's like the Eastside Metal Darth Vader thing. Yeah, I never forget that. I never forget that. And I've got a blurry, ham-fisted photo of Richard took being it.
I had to
Very
be
blurry.
quick, but I had to take that fucking quick, like. But the film I did like, go to just hang on this Star Wars thing for a second, is Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was
Rogue
a brilliant
One,
film.
Yeah, it was
That was
alright.
enjoyable. Yeah, that was enjoyable. That was.
Bit of a darker tone than usual. Bit of
Yeah.
an Empire Strikes Back tone. You know it's not going to work out well in the end. But everyone knows the story before it starts. You know it's not going to end well. But it is what it is.
I was still, Disney. I was still kind of expecting, I imagine everyone's probably seen it, like when they all at the end, and I was still expecting like a ship to fucking just fly in front of the screen or something. They all get away happy. I was just watching like after the credits. After the credits.
Nah, but that's how they get the plans in the first ever film, isn't it? So you know it was they never got out of there, yeah.
She's hot though.
She did. The husband from Peep Show season 9 is a soldier in that film. It's mental. He's like if you ever make that connection, it's just the randomest thing ever. Like I can't. It's pointless me explaining it. Just if you've seen.
Have I seen Series 9? I don't know.
I don't think you've got series 9 of you. Have you got all of them? You got a lot.
Hi,
of them, haven't you?
Sophie, for all I've got.
Hi, Sophie. I am the bracelet bastard.
Yeah.
You're in for a treat. Have you seen it before, Gar?
Have I seen what?
Peep Show before, like all
Yeah,
the way
but
through
I don't think I've ever seen like the full run of it or the full season of it. I've just sort of dipped in between in and out like of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a treat, man. It's a treat.
Yeah.
I have
Cracking.
started watching them
Fuck off, clean shit.
from the beginning. I can take it or leave it. I don't know. I know you were a lot more into them. Yeah.
Oh, it's comedy gold.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I just
Great
don't
show.
like Mitchell and Webb. I just can't stand them.
There's one episode, I think it's season 7. They get trapped in like the stairway of someone's flat, and the entire episode is in the stairway. It is it's so fucking funny. It's ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. That's like that's the peak that is for me.
Whenever I
season
think
7.
of it, I remember the episode where Mark's ill, and Jeremy wants to throw that mushroom party, and the guy rips the fucking door off the toilet. So they're all tripping on mushrooms, and Mark's in the fucking toilet with the door off, having diarrhea. Like, it's fucking brilliant.
Is that normal thing you're doing?
The last one I watched when he pisses all in the drawer and all over the letters and stuff, and then he's drying them out. That's the last one I saw, I think.
The first
scene.
ones are really weird. He's really like desperately strange. Well, he's desperately strange throughout the whole thing, but it's really strange to start with. Yeah.
Is this light a bit assaulting? I feel
No.
very Donald Trumpy, like.
Oh, it's gone.
China.
It's gone less
Got a
orange
bit
now.
better, have it?
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
speaking of Donald Trump, I'll use that as an excuse to move the cast along.
Yeah, so from what we've learned, have you learned much from that GMA experience, Sean, before we move on?
Don't. I mean, yeah. Don't listen to what people on the internet tell you.
Yeah.
Just go with your gut feeling. I have no financial advice for anybody. This is not financial advice. I have no financial advice. I can't figure out stocks. When I learned how to short things, everything I shorted went up. If I'd put money on them, they would have gone down. It's just you can't fucking win.
Can't
You
win.
know.
I think there is money to be made on it if you know what you're doing, and there is a quick buck to be made on it if you're very lucky. But if you haven't got, if the money you're putting in is life changing, then just don't fucking do it. Like, it's not worth losing, because the fucking Wall Street bets now, at the time of this cast, is chock full of what they call loss porn, whereas they take screenshots of them like minus. Oh, I've seen minus like £60,000, like insane amounts of money, like insane. But yeah, it's chock full of lost porn. So if you want kind of a reality check, go check Wall Street Bets now, sort by new, and look through the lost porn. Honest to God.
It's like losing not only what you put in, but what you owe because it dropped so low. You lose your initial investment and more.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is insane.
Yeah, I'm lucky because the app me and Sean were using were it kind of stops when it gets so low, it just cancels everything, and you only lose your initial investment. But some
That's your
apps,
cut-off point then, right?
yeah, there's a cut-off point. But some apps, they you yes, it can be dangerous.
Yeah, it closes out your account if you can't afford the loss. It'll stop. It'll sell your stocks for you. But that also means you can't ride out the loss, and then it might bounce back. You've just instantly lost 200 quid or whatever. So.
Whereas if you could ride it, you might be earning. Yeah. But I won't lie, it is fun.
Oh, imagine it's a proper like on edge thrill, like, innit? It must
Absolutely.
be like adrenaline. That's what
when it's
it's looking
going
for,
right,
proper
it is.
adrenaline.
When 230 comes, I've been shaking, like I said, but man, I've never gone from like so hopeful to just soul crushing, stomach churning in like so fast. It was insane, absolutely insane. Brilliant stuff. Well, I've learnt a lesson from experience, and I hope you lot can kind of take something away from my experience too. I chucked my story out there, bit embarrassing, but funny.
You gave it a try though. You gave it a try and see what it was about.
Exactly. Like I thought I missed out on Bitcoin. I'm going to try this, and if someone's going to make a joke, if I pulled out a little bit earlier, I'd be a lot happier, which I'm sure a lot of men have said.
So at the end of the day, son, it's a life experience, though, isn't it? It's something you tried now and experienced. You haven't got to do it again. You haven't got to do it again. You've done it now. You've experienced it.
Like second off homeless man.
The money you made was the friends along the way, but that's basically what it is.
There we go. Yeah.
It was the journey. They say that about TV shows where it doesn't end properly, innit? It was the journey, not the destination. I'm sure there's a lesson in there.
So I think that pretty much. Does that cover, Jimmy? We might update on what happens to Deep Fucking Value if anything of interest happens to him with the SEC. You see what goes on there. I know
SEC won't let me be.
I know Virgin Galactic, which are on there, have a test flight on the 13th. If all goes well, I might chuck a buy on them. But if I place a buy on them, you know what's going to happen to that rocket, don't you?
Don't do it for the.
I might save some lives and just short the company. Should I do that?
Another dimension. Another dimension. Another dimension.
Crazy.
Another dimension.
Yep. But as people say all over YouTube, this is not financial advice, and do not do anything we say because we are smooth-brained retards.
This is not financial advice. This is SteegCast.
Right, so originally this cast, the idea is kind of, I imagine, a bit outdated now. It's nice to look back on it with hindsight, though. I think it's still relevant to the journey, like we just said. The journey was the thing, and this is where we are, and what we're going to talk about is what's happened. So, first things first, I think I start the journey with the U.S. election fraud.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this.
Well, where to begin? That
wasn't proven, was it? None of it was proven ever, anywhere. Thrown out of court in all the states it was brought up in.
Absolutely, I'm going orange again. I'm going Trump again.
Guys, best country in the world. I'd love to be able to speak like Trump. It is the most satisfying thing. I'd love to.
Do a Jerry Only impression, basically.
He's like Jerry Only is. He's got that like Jerry Joycey kind of. We started a band, fucking. Donald Trump doesn't start like that. It doesn't really. He does, I guess, but.
Trump did give you a shout out on stage that one time, Sean. Remember?
He did.
Yeah, remember?
I had to go on Twitter and apologise. I don't even have Twitter. I have to apologise to the left for being associated with.
You're not the only one that doesn't have Twitter anymore, though, are you?
Hey, segue.
Well, yeah,
got lead up, son. A cracking lead up. That is an applause.
I genuinely wonder how he's coping without Twitter. He fucking loves his Twitter. As like probably quote unquote, the most important person in the country, he was on Twitter all day.
Yeah. Do you think he just shouts his thoughts at Ivanka now? Is that her name, Ivanka?
I think it is.
No, it's Melania. Ivanka's his daughter.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, he'd fuck either of them, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah. Yeah.
But this isn't a partisan cast. We are not taking sides.
Noam Chomsky.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, the thing is with the whole election fraud, right? Like, I don't support Trump in the slightest, but there was a few things that were a bit odd about the whole.
Or there were a few things that we were told that were a bit odd.
Or there are a few things that are always happening all the time, but now it's on the other foot. They were shouting about it.
Yeah.
Like the whole Bush thing in Florida.
You say that, but I mean, how often did you hear the words Russian election, Russian collusion when Trump was voting?
True that.
Oh yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just the flip flop. Like that's all it is.
Both sides were playing the Russian card because Hillary was saying that they were in bed with the Russians. Hillary even accused Tulsi Gabbard of being a Russian plant.
Tulsi Gabbard. That sounds like a Russian plant, doesn't it? I got a pot of Tulsi Gabbard in the
obviously Trump was accusing Hillary of having. Well, wasn't there emails with Hillary and it was deleted using bleach bit? I know that.
Yeah. She scrubbed her emails, didn't she? Which leads into Pizzagate.
Yes,
that's it. So all connected.
Why are they always connected to some strange conspiracy? Like they say that it was all on the news. Like, people who stormed the Capitol, those supporters of the QAnon, movement. So why is that relevant? Why is Pizzagate?
Because they've got to push it to extremes so that people feel emotion about it, more emotion.
Problem reaction solution.
Totalitarian.
Yeah. They create the problem. Like. They get people scared of Muslims because there's a few terrorists.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they do on every issue. So I'd say Q was probably involved. What they do is, I'd say Q was involved with the election fraud though for sure.
Q.
What can you remember anything from that election fraud deal?
No, I just remember them like Trump being like. We won this election even though he'd lost, and then it's like certain people in different states were given legal challenges to the findings of the election, and all of them were thrown out of court pretty much immediately.
There were instances of votes being counted out of hours, and that was actually filmed on camera. People counting votes when the office was actually closed. Didn't they say that counts of that.
They said that deceased people had voted as well,
Yeah, but apparently that's happened in nearly every election.
Yeah, a few elections.
So there's nothing
just shows
new.
That the whole system is fucking just mental.
And there's one place where it was like, okay, so maybe there was a little bit, something doesn't quite add up, but Trump had 10 votes and Bernie had 18 million. It's pointless ever going. It's even if there was something, even if this is true and these dead people did vote and they shouldn't have, you would have fucking lost anyway.
Because I think what the thing happened was when the election started and everyone went to the polls, and that's the votes they saw first was all the poll votes, because Trump was sort of anti-mail votes, and he told anti-mail-in, I shouldn't say anti-mail, that sounds weird. So everyone of his supporters went to the polls and voted in person. But then a lot of Biden supporters ended up voting by mail. And the mail votes are always the last to be counted because of obvious reasons. So that's why Trump had an initial surge, but then afterwards Biden started coming back because they started counting those votes. But Trump was claiming that those votes were illegal, and there has been cases of mail-in votes not being properly filled out, and people actually in the polling stations filling the rest of the info out for them if they've just written Biden, when strictly speaking they should have just written them off because they're not legal votes. So and there were a lot of cases of them where people didn't fill them out properly. So, there is a case to be made there, I guess.
That's equivalent to getting to put your name on in front of your exam paper or something.
yeah.
Technically, an examiner or a teacher wouldn't be allowed to write it on.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Same thing. Be cancelled.
And there were times of mail-in votes, but like I said, this happened in other elections as well, gone by, where mail-in votes were done by dead people as well. And stuff like that. So,
but the order of counting reaffirms what you said at the beginning, where after hours they were counting all these votes, and they were like 90% for Biden.
Yeah.
But as you said, Trump told people not to bloody mail in.
Yeah. But I think the point is with the after hours one was everyone was out of the office, and then someone came back in, and it was just one person doing the counting. And even though the camera was there, that's just a security camera. There should have been a Democrat and a Republican, not representative there to witness votes being counted. Wasn't there one building as well where they denied access to the Republicans to view the votes? I can't remember where that was. It was like Ohio or something like that.
Yeah, they weren't allowing people into it.
Yeah.
The vote watcher. I am a vote watcher, and then they wouldn't let me in. Yeah, it was chaos. I saw videos on the internet.
# stop the steal. Yeah. And I always think that there's no smoke without fire unless you got a smoke machine. So that's the whole thing.
It's just dry ice, isn't it?
It's not dry ice, is it? It's something else. It's not dry ice. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's just like I think there's something there, but I don't think it's something that's significant enough to change the way the action turned out.
I think that that something could just be something that's fundamentally wrong with the entire system that's been picked up through every single recent presidency, and the other side complains about it.
Yeah. It's literally it's the same thing happens every presidential election, that the side changes. As soon as a Democrat gets in from a Republican, they literally just reverse everything the last guy did, and then as soon as it's the other way around, they do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Obama reversed a lot of stuff Obama did. Trump reversed a lot of things Obama did, but even though he said that he abolished Obamacare, he didn't. He just renamed it and hailed it as this great thing. And I'm sure Biden has already started to undo a lot of Trump's policies.
Oh, absolutely. He's signed 28 executive orders on his first day. I think even Obama only signed 8. I don't want to say it, but he's not going to know what the fuck he's signing, is he? Let's be honest.
Nah.
It's like
get the new radicals to perform though for their classic 90s wanted wonder single, you get what you give. Not many other people say they've done that, so what I'll say, putting it out there.
Going off Gareth's point, actually, what are your guys' opinions on this whole? So, do you remember when Trump was doing rallies or whatever, and then he'd play Linkin Park in a rally, and then Linkin Park would come out and say, "Oh, we want you to stop playing our song," and they'll send cease and desist. Foo Fighters done the same. It was
who was the band that asked him to stop now?
So many. There was a few. Bon Jovi was another, and there was loads. Fleetwood Mac, maybe. I don't know. But then when it comes to the other side, when it comes to the actual Democratic side, Democratic Party, literally every fucking artist is playing for them, and they're playing live and stuff like that. It's like, do you think that musicians and sort of public celebrities should voice their political stand-ins, to that extent? Because it is influencing what people are voting for, and
Well, he's
it's
got clearance some village people, son. With the old village people, when he does that sort of YMCA dance, he's got the clearance some village people, definitely.
but
That's all that matters, like.
but like it's basically swaying a vote by, so like people who are like young voters who are just legal to vote 18,
We're talking like Gaga and stuff.
They'll see their favorite band basically playing at Biden's rally. Say they see the Foo Fighters playing at a Biden rally, right?
Satanic War Master.
And they really like the Foo Fighters. Then they're going to vote for Biden because the Foo Fighters played at it, and they won't even bother looking at his policies. His policies could be absolute gash.
I get you.
Corbyn had fucking blasted him, didn't he?
So
I was just about to bring up Corbyn said to Glastonbury,
Corbyn
but
said.
not Rich.
Yeah.
No, Rich, I 100% understand what you're on about. Like, you know, if you're not gonna disagree with, it's hard to put into words. You're not gonna disagree with a band you I don't want to say idolize, but really like, you know.
Yeah.
Remember when Corbyn was on the front page of Kerrang?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Fat load of good that did him.
Right.
But never in a million years would Boris Johnson be on the front page of Kerrang.
No chance.
Well,
Not in a million fucking years. Oh, you're right.
No.
It's,
But-
the media, I know it's been overstated, but the media is left leaning. I'll say that much.
In America.
I think the poor BBC gets in the neck from both
yeah.
ends, doesn't it? It's like,
I think
BBC's fucking biased conservatives, BBC's biased fucking left wing. You can't win.
in the UK there are left leaning places. Don't get me wrong, but there's more right mainstream than there is in America. That in the UK, definitely.
I think it's just an inherent namby-pambyism that has infected everything, regardless of left or right wing politics.
There's less radicals in the UK though, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the
less anarchy
fringe,
in the UK.
The fringe, like. Yeah.
What about Lord Buckethead or like the Free Will's Army?
Oh, fantastic, man! Independent party, yes.
Yeah.
Still going.
Speaking of like extremists, though, after the election fraud, there was a storm in the Capitol, wasn't it? That came next.
Jamiroquai stormed the Capitol, son.
Oh man, the conspiracies that came up from that guy, Jesus Christ, he was a paid actor, right? Apparently. And on Reddit, they were like pictures of his profile, his website and all that, where they...
Jamiroquai fella,
yeah, where they bought him from, that he was Antifa in disguise, so much shit, like. But did you hear about that? And this one is actually true. When he was in prison, he wouldn't eat any food because it was non-organic.
Yeah, I remember I saw
Wow.
that. I was like that guy who sat down on like Nancy Pelosi's desk or something, stole some shit.
He stole a hard drive? Or was there shoes?
It was something totally random. I think it was like letterhead paper or something, maybe? Or something like from the desk of Nancy. It was a ridiculous thing.
Also, I think it was Nancy Pelosi. She left her computer unlocked when she left the building as well.
Wow.
Nice.
Someone took a picture of it. Her emails and everything were wide open.
That could have been a lot fucking worse.
Yeah. Well, nothing's come out about that. There's a picture of it online, but there's nothing come out about it. So I'm wondering like what's going to happen with that, but who knows?
Should probably get a smack on the wrist.
Meeting
with InfoSec and a final warning.
On the Capitol thing, did you see about AOC being accused of lying about the whole Capitol attack things? So she was in a building down the road basically when the Capitol attacks were going on, and she was fearing for her life in her office, and apparently, according to some news outlets, that she made up her story saying that there were people. Well, no, she wasn't in the Capitol building. She was in a building down the road, which she did state. She didn't say she was in the Capitol building.
Just down the road.
But at the time, they were emptying people out of that building because they feared that they would start to go there as well. And people were banging on her door, and she was fearing for her life and everything. And she went in. She basically ran out and went into someone else's office who she knew, and asked her could she hide there. And she was like basically being uber paranoid. And the woman's office who she went into, I can't remember her name, but she gave an account as well to say like, oh yeah, she was like asking me for trainers and everything because she was wearing high heels and she wants trainers so she can run and stuff like that. And the woman ended up asking one of her aides for her trainers to give to AOC.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was funny. Like,
Who's AOC?
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. She is
right.
a Democratic congresswoman. Yeah, congresswoman. And she's very unpopular with the right. The right absolutely hate her, right? So obviously people like Ben Shapiro and Stephen Crowder have done bits on her, and they always do though, and they've taken the piss out of it. But then there are the other side. But then I've noticed a few sort of left news stations have actually followed that story and called her a liar as well, which I thought was quite interesting. So I don't know, but she's a big Bernie supporter, isn't she? She's like Bernie Sanders' protege, essentially. So maybe that's why, because Bernie Sanders and Biden are two different sides of the Democratic coin.
Should I be finding that Bernie photo like when he's like sat down? Should I be finding that funny? Does anyone else not find?
That meme was tired before it began.
I didn't understand it. It was just the guy. Just the guy sitting cold.
It's because of the way he sat.
I don't get it.
Fucking
to give it credit, there was some cracking photoshops though. Like they looked legit, like in some of them. Like they weren't too memey. They were actually like, oh, you've actually blended that quite well in there. I'll give you credit for that. Like, But yeah, America at the minute. Like, I remember when I was younger, and I'd always think, oh, I wish I lived in America. And now I'm looking at America and going, thank fuck I don't live in America. It's like,
yeah,
America is kind of fallen, isn't it, from this, just look at adverts from the 80s, adverts for commercials for things, and then just look at America now. The bubble is bursting, most definitely. I like that really easy luxury lifestyle that everyone can have.
I've started taking notice as well of what Hollywood is actually pumping out as well, and seeing some of the underlying messages of certain films.
Namby-pamby bullshit.
Did you know Hollywood?
It's mad.
Hollywood showcase their military ways through fucking movies. Like, that blew my mind when I fucking
the military will fund any Hollywood film that portrays the U.S. military in a positive light. Honestly, they do. The military budget in America is fucking massive. It's huge, like
10 times bigger than the next budget down.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like trillions basically, the military budget in America, and there's like people. I think like Bernie Sanders and people like that. They want to reduce it to actually give to like hospitals and things that are needed.
But you can't do that because that's socialism.
Yeah, exactly. That is the argument about it. As Ben Shapiro puts it, a socialist hell is what America would turn into if Bernie Sanders came into power. To give a bit of context, I have been watching more right-wing stuff lately, just to get a
fucking Nazi.
Just to get a bit of perspective on what sides are saying, like both sides of the coin.
Right-wing, are you, son?
Just to know. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in right-wing politics now, but
enlightened centrism.
Oh god, but no, there are certain things that pop up, and I think, oh yeah, that's a fair point, and it's the same with because we've said it before. You go to the extreme left or the extreme right, and they are just no goes. You just don't want to be on either side of them, but when you're more central, you have a bit of, if either side had a bit of give, then you could get a perfect sort of political landscape. It's all about what's the word? Compromise. You just each side compromises certain policies and stuff like that. But then when you ask supporters of like the left or the right, both of them don't want to compromise to the other. Both sides live in an echo chamber at the end of the day. That's what I'm getting at.
But it is all media spun though, like you said about people voting for Biden without knowing his policies and all that. That is what 80%.
Yeah.
80% of voters, it's all just media spun. Who gets the most airtime? Who looks favourable on the internet? Whose videos are getting taken down when they look like idiots, and who's getting promoted when they look like an idiot? Trump. You say what you want about him, but there are so many videos of him looking like a fucking dick on the internet. But
he makes it easy.
How many videos are there of Biden looking like a dick on
There's
the
a lot
internet.
of really creepy Biden videos. Where he's, like, really,
But they
really
get taken down,
inappropriately-
though. They get taken down.
I've fucking seen plenty of them.
Yeah, they do get taken down, though. But, like...
What do they get?
they get taken down. I did just do a Biden then, didn't I? I just kind of spaced off, like...
They might get taken down, son.
But
Like
Speaking
Stonks,
of-
is it, son?
speaking of being taken down, the right-wing social website Parler got taken, or got
Ta-da.
nice, basically.
Nice.
Look at these segues on SteegCast. We're fucking brilliant
Very
at it, aren't we,
fucking
Fipley?
Can't say I'm sad that it's gone, but you know it shouldn't have gone. To be honest,
No,
same
it
way like
shouldn't
bit
have.
shoot and stuff is gonna go one day. I don't think that's right. To be honest with you,
They are, this is clear evidence that they are censoring one side. To say that, I'm not a supporter of said side that's being censored, but they don't deserve to be censored. Each side deserves to have a voice, and by censoring
Plenty
one
of,
side,
plenty of fucking right wing maniacs on Twitter as well. But that seems exempt
yeah.
for some reason.
yeah.
Well, the
I
thing
mean,
is that Parler was apparently like fully right wing, wasn't it? So
yeah.
what harm were they doing in their own little echo chamber anyway?
Well, that's it, isn't it? Other than the fact they
was-
organised like something like the Capitol raids, I guess.
Yeah.
Come on, there are videos out there of like the police walking them through the Capitol.
It's
like,
fucking scapegoating. It's like when they had the London
Yeah.
riots about fucking nearly 10 years ago. They were just calling out on the BlackBerry messaging service, which was fully encrypted. That was wrong. That should be stopped. You shouldn't be able to have fully encrypted chats and all this shit. It was just scapegoats, innit? And they needed the police couldn't keep on top of it, and it was just like that's the reason why. And they were like, oh, we need to take it down. Blah, blah, blah.
They
just
were-
blame something. Yeah, absolutely.
There were Black Lives Matters protests earlier last year that did turn violent as well, and
Most of them.
I think that if they're going to follow the same things that the people in the Capitol building did, then for the most part, there were a lot of peaceful protests for Black Lives Matters across the world, basically. But the violent ones, then yeah, they've got to take the same actions on them as they do against the Capitol building people. It doesn't matter what they're supporting.
Well,
Violence
Trump, it was
shouldn't
like when the
be,
looting starts, the
taken
shooting
on that.
starts. Remember that?
So yeah,
Yeah.
And when he's talking to black people and their associates and people who believe in their Black Lives Matter cause.
yeah.
But then as soon as it's a bunch of fucking mongoloid storming fucking Capitol, he's nowhere to be seen. It's just like when there's a fucking American flag winging fatties, like you just you're not gonna shoot them. Mind you, they did get nasty, didn't they? And the fucking cop died. I actually feels bad. I feel bad for
Cop
that
died.
cop. Like,
Not just a cop. I think 3 other people died as well, didn't they? A woman
Yeah,
got shot in
but-
the neck.
they were all fucking storming a government building. Can you imagine a bunch of fucking right-wing BNP guys just storming Parliament in this country, and none of them and not being shot at? It wouldn't happen. There's a fucking concrete barrier outside Parliament to stop people driving cars into it, and then these fucking clowns can walk into the Capitol building with very little fucking.
Only
resistance.
recently is that concrete barrier there after the car drove into it a few years ago.
I know. There was a spate of extremist-related driving
Yeah.
jihadi attack. That's a fucking sentence that is. But it was just like, we can't be fucked to make bombs anymore. Let's just drive vans into
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
A separate. I was in London for the night of the London Bridge attacks.
X-Twin, wasn't it?
I was a separate terrorist attack again. I was there. I didn't know it happened until I came out of the gig. But yeah, it was Aphex Twin. It was Field Day 2016, 17? I forget. 17. But yeah. Wasn't a nice atmosphere. But I didn't get run over by a jihadi, so,
Yeah.
count my blessings.
Take the wins, innit? Take
Take
the wins.
Take the wins when they come. Tricky subject, all this.
Facebook and Twitter and all that, the powers that be have the power to shut down certain sites, then they're going to be the only ones remaining, really.
Yeah.
They're
And they
gonna
will.
be.
They will shut them down as well.
Yeah, they're like, if you don't like our platform, start your own. Someone starts their own, they get shut down. You can't fucking win, like. You can't win. So as for censorship, anyone Anyone?
There's been a lot, and a lot of them get put through and they get.
Or
so
internet censorship. Or
speaking specifically in America, they always have a lot of like. What do you call it? Legislation, is it? Do you only put towards like a new law or new act forward? I'm not sure what the actual American terms are.
I think
there's been so many that they, and there's a lot of fuss that people online. They say that they're put forward for certain reasons, and it turns out it's for other reasons. Let's have a look. There's fucking so many of them. Let's have a look at the ones when I was first really aware of this. It was Pippa and Sopa were the big ones. They were the ones that were like Pippa, which is Pippa was the big one at the time. I don't even know if it's still relevant, but it was in what's it called? The Property Intellectual Protect. Wait, I'll just Google it. The Protect Intellectual Property Act, or PIPA, was a proposed law. Didn't go through in the end. Let's have a look here. I should have read up on this before I started, really, shouldn't I? There was a lot of protests on it. And there was another one as well, which was like trying to bridge like the EU and American cyber laws together. CISA was the other one. There we go. The Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act. CISA and PIPA was to improve cybersecurity in the United States through enhanced sharing of information about cybersecurity threats, which, it was eventually signed into law by President Obama. So I don't know how that went, really. But, look, just go, there's actually a lovely Wikipedia article called Internet Censorship in the United States. It lists all of them, ones that went through, ones that didn't, and the implications of each. There's so many. There's the CFAA, the CDA, there's the Copacabana, there's the COPPA, the DMCA. There's so many. The DMCA is a famous internet censorship one, which is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, you may remember. It limits the liability of online service providers for copyright infringement by their users. So, Napster, shit like that, is liable for the shit that's uploaded. Mega uploads, all that shit. There was just like, we don't like what people are uploading to your site.
Pirate Bay.
You're fucking responsible for it. Like, how is that even? Yet Zach is not in jail for being a pedo for all the shit that gets put on fucking Facebook. So it's like the Twitter thing earlier. I was being sarcastic, but like, there's a lot of really bad shit on Twitter. But Twitter's fine. You know what I mean?
There was an episode actually of the Joe Rogan podcast where he had one of the chief execs, I think, of Twitter on
Jack Dorsey.
Show. Jack Dorsey was on. Jack Dorsey said fuck all though, but it was a woman. It was a woman on there, and she was basically saying how the difference between banning, or it was not banning, but at the time suspending Trump, because this was before the banning. And if you go back and watch that episode of Joe Rogan, it actually is quite funny in the comments she makes in terms of banning certain people. So they were trying to say to her, well, why are you banning this person when you're not banning this person for doing exactly the same thing? And there isn't any sort of clarity in who they're trying to ban. It's just, this guy has said something bad about this particular person, so we're going to ban them. But this guy said something bad about this particular person, but we don't like that particular person anyway, so we're just going to leave it there. That's, and Twitter, Facebook, all them, they are appearing left-leaning, but I fear that they are actually underlying sort of having right policies, if that makes any sense. Whereas,
and that's what I feel that this whole leftist, extreme leftist stance is. It really, it's the fascism that's underneath. You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this, so you're banned. That is fucking fascism, like. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You're right, though.
Yeah. So I wish I had more on that episode, but I'm sure a lot of people watch Joe Rogan's or listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, so I just go back and check that out because it is a good watch, in fairness.
So Trump's censorship coincided with the COVID relief bill, which is I think it got finalized not so long ago, like yesterday or the day before that. But before we jump onto that, I just want to say, did you know that Donald Trump is nominated for a Peace Prize?
In what context?
Heard something about this.
It's like a joke.
No, in the context that he didn't start any wars during his presidency. He's one of the only recent presidents not to start a war.
He's the only
He just
president
internalized that war into
in modern
his own
history.
country.
He's the only president not to start a war during his presidency.
Yeah. No, I
not
mean,
for lack of trying, though. He did try with China, North Korea, Iran. So he did try, but he
did like hellfire.
Yeah,
he hellfire struck the Iranian general. But you know,
that was random, wasn't it?
No war.
Just like boom, he's dead. You know. Fuck.
He was. Yeah, but he's up for a Nobel Peace Prize. So that's
you get a Peace Prize for not starting a war. Like surely that's a pretty fucking.
It's a low bar, but this
if
is.
you prevented a war, maybe it's just like it just seems like
Jesus.
Well, I guess.
You're right.
I guess you could argue that he prevented a war between the US and North Korea.
Yeah, but it's I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's fact, but you could put it that way. What was I going to say? There was something. Oh yeah, do you know Trump actually didn't start the wall either.
It was always building since the world's been tilting.
It was started by George Bush Sr. And every president since has built a section of that wall that Trump was hailing. Yeah.
Isn't it more of a fence these days? Like one of those council fences they put around schools?
Trump basically finished.
Green fences.
Basically finished it off, but everyone seems to think that Trump built it and that was his policy and he's
I thought that.
All that, but no, it was started by George Bush Sr. Every president since has built a section of it as well. It's not
every president or every right-leaning.
No,
president?
every president. Every
well,
president.
So
since.
Obama and
every administration has built a section of that wall.
Like George Washington.
I think Trump probably has built the most.
Isn't it only on certain bits though? It's like incomplete. It's like there's no way you're gonna stop. It just.
No, I know it's stupid. It's an absolutely stupid thing to do, but yeah, it's just
China done it. Kept the Mongols out, didn't it? Kept the fucking no Mongols in China back then, was there?
Could argue there aren't any there now, but we don't know because they don't let us know about it. So
it could just be China doesn't exist and they're all just Mongols now. They're just keeping it really secret, like.
Yeah. No. China's a scary place, man. Like some of the like if you go in on censorship, geez, that country.
Yeah.
I was reading about
scary.
like Chinese atrocities of war and stuff. It's just fucking insane. Or was it Japanese? I forget I said anything.
Japan have committed some shit, but no, you're right in the CCP, and that kind of leads on to what we were talking about with Tencent buying shares in Reddit.
Right.
No. Yeah. Tencent bought Tencent. There was a predominantly Chinese company which very CCP fucking how would you say lean-ins? I don't know. I guess lean-ins. I suppose they all got to be on me. But they bought 10% of Reddit. That was about 2-3 years back. Since then, like many of the right-wing Reddits have gone down. Not saying unjustified, but still they've gone down. Like you got the Trump.
The Donald,
and all that fucking shit. Like, after an 8-month stop and start test of endurance, Congress passed this $900 billion COVID relief and a $1.4 trillion government funding package that gives critical pandemic aid to Americans while securing federal agency operations throughout September 2021. While no additional state or local aid was provided, an extension of the deadline by which the Coronavirus Aid, Relief and Economic Security, or in brackets CARES, or the Act Coronavirus Relief. What comes first, the acronym or the name?
I guess the name, or maybe they just make it so it's acronymable.
Acronomical. Yeah.
Acronomical.
Or the Act Coronavirus Relief Fund, the CRF, resources must be spent was extended to December 31st. Pretty much there's direct payments, citizens, tax provisions, modifications to the CARES Act. These are all like different headings. But all that money pretty much is going to go to anyone that needs it in America over the time of this pandemic. But now, of course, Joe Biden is front running that, I suppose. And Trump's been censored, so he can't be like, it was my idea, you know. Can't pick up that shit. But there was also something very interesting hidden within this bill, and that was the disclosure of any findings of UFOs. They had 180 days to disclose any UFO findings.
That's such a random thing to chuck in this bill.
A COVID relief bill, like.
Yeah.
It's
They haven't
crazy.
disclosed nothing as of yet, though, have they?
I bet Tom DeLonge's having a fucking field day, like creaming in his pants over this.
I bet it. I wonder how his stock price is doing at the moment.
Well, to my knowledge, they've more or less come out and said that some of the stuff that Tom presented to him was legit. I think it was the Navy or something, or you back me up on that?
The Navy are the ones that, if we do go into space and start building giant ships, it'd be the Navy that go in them, yeah.
They didn't they approve though some of Tom DeLonge's material and said that it was
Navy.
legit or unidentified or whatever, didn't they? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Project Blue Book was this one?
I know what you're on about, guy. I'm not too sure on what was proven though.
There was something that Tom DeLonge presented, and basically they said, "Yeah, you're right. This is unidentified information here, or whatever." Which is such a fact.
Well, I read something on the fact that there could possibly be a whole species or like alien species that are so far down in the ocean that we just we leave them alone because they're so technologically advanced that when we get near they blow up all our ships and all that, and that's kind of what
Cthulhu
I read.
Dawn, is it?
I mean,
hell.
You don't fucking
Atlantis.
believe this shit.
Certainly,
Atlantis,
H.P. Lovecraft would like a word.
Yeah, straight up, like. But apparently they've blown up Russian submarines and all this nonsense. Yeah, you don't, oh dear, like, you know, it's fucking bonkers, like. What was Tom DeLonge? What was that thing in, guy? Do you want to expand
I
a
don't
bit
know
now?
if I'm trying to get information or no one seems to be listening to me though. I think Richard's looking at his computer or something.
No.
No. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to find out. There was something that there was a piece of information that came out that basically they said, yeah, man, you were right on it.
Well done, Tom.
I'm not sure what it was.
Top bloke.
He
Go
got a lot of like top, like former heads of different areas of the military and stuff, didn't he, Tom
Got
DeLonge?
some serious,
You know.
not messing about.
So
Isn't he looking into folding space and time to make a warp engine? I saw some blueprints for that.
God.
Yeah.
Warp. I don't know if
very
warp
very
travel is
intelligent man.
possible.
Who's that? And Lawrence Fishburne.
No, Tom DeLonge.
Ah.
Well, with
Honestly,
warp travel, they say you got to go faster than light, but like,
Engage.
isn't that just time travel? Isn't that kind of what we were on about the other day? Where like,
I go faster than the speed of time.
yeah, but time is just gravity measured by the rotation of the sun on the Earth. That's how we measure time. So, isn't going faster than light time travel? Well, with warp
Honestly,
travel, they say you got to go faster than light, but like,
Engage.
isn't that just time travel? Isn't that kind of what we were on about the other day? Where like,
I go faster than the speed of time.
yeah, but time is just gravity measured by the rotation of the sun on the Earth. That's how we measure time. So, isn't going faster than light time travel? I'm not high enough to have this conversation.
SteegCast is going far too deep than we're comfortable with, to be fair.
If you know your astrophysics.
Yeah, please let us know about how wrong I am. Right, so what about this, right, for a theory? Do you know those aliens down below that I was just on about, those water aliens? What if, right, they have been recently surfacing and they are the start of this corona pandemic?
Oh, like
H.P. Lovecraft
like in the start
would like
of
a
the
word.
first X-Men film, where the president comes out of the water on the beach and he turns into this big blob of water thing.
yeah.
He's just walking
Or
out
like,
and he's just like, what the hell is going on?
Or is it War of the Worlds where like a cold ends up killing them?
Yeah.
Or it'd be more like that, like they've got foreign bodies and we can't handle it. And
Are we talking about the reptilian agenda?
Like Godzilla.
Godzilla.
There's a new film coming out of that, isn't it? Godzilla
What's
vs
that?
King Kong.
I'd watch that.
They smash with Godzilla. So
I don't understand how King Kong
It's shiny.
can stand up to him though. They must nerf Godzilla big time for that. I mean, he's got like nuclear reacted power beams, and he's a big lizard. Like he's better than a big monkey. He's like 50 times bigger than Godzilla too.
Donkey
King
Kong. Donkey Kong v Bowser, isn't it?
Who's that now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Bowser.
King Koopa. Bowser's King Koopa, son.
Jesus.
For you oldies. No, I don't think Sean ever did Nintendos.
No, I never did
Anyway.
Nintendos.
Yeah, go on, Tom, with your theory.
Oh, that was just a wild speculation. That was a bit of a wild one, like
They're gonna come up. They're gonna come up out. Yeah.
And this is just us acclimatizing to their biology, I suppose.
I don't believe that for a second.
Well, no, you shouldn't either. I don't think anyone should believe that.
But
There we go. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I read this. I found a quote. Look, I've read it. This is what Lovecraft wrote, right? He said, "I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that at this very moment may be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they will rise above the billows and drag down in their reeking talons the remnants of a puny war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean floor shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium. The
That's
end is
awesome.
near." That was like over 100 years old. He knew what was fucking happening. We've hit the nail on the head.
Good lord.
no, I like.
So I was
This is
gonna try
SteegCast.
and link this to the down 737. I can't remember. I can't remember the potential segue of that one. I'll be honest.
Well, the recent one was it?
Indian,
That fell out of the sky
737
recently.
Max, which have actually been put back into circulation at the moment. Yeah.
Was it another one of those? Was it?
Another fucking one.
It
Same
was
as the
another one.
MH.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, the MHs were different. They were bigger fucking MH17
But that one made it.
plane. That wasn't a
So they just don't learn
737.
their
was it?
lesson.
I think.
We'll see.
I don't know, but I know that the Indian one, 737 Max, wasn't the first one of them to actually take a dive. And they're old planes.
70, eh?
Did the most recent one, did it get found, or is it just gone completely? I'm not too up on this story, like, because I know very little on it.
I'm not either myself. I was hoping that Sean would would be able to be on this one.
I could tell you all about the one that's just been recertified. I didn't realize the one that crashed in India was the same plane. I thought it was a really old plane, wasn't it?
The 737 Maxes
The one
are
that crashed
pretty
in
old
India.
now. By
But no, those are the ones that. Maybe is it a regular 737 then? The one that crashed in India. That's the one that
I saw Max Burrows has given up on life there.
well, the Max is like a newer model of it. It's the one that keeps crashing because of the software issues. That's
I got
a
to
different thing
Google this.
altogether, I think. Max 8, isn't it? It's the 737 Max 8. Is the one that keeps flying planes into it's the one with the software glitch on it.
India's grounding of Boeing 737 Max to hurt SpiceJet most. Second, B 737 Max crash. India seeks info from Boeing.
The Max is a new aircraft, so I feel like I'm confusing. So I say new, I'm talking like, maybe probably 6 or 7 years now. But,
we got Lion Air flight 610 and Ethiopian Airlines flight 302
Yeah, so those are the ones that were crashed by the plane. That's where the plane crashed itself, more or less. And that's what they've been.
And they are 737 Maxes.
I thought they were Max 8. It's the same. It's the model of 737 Max. But the question is,
anyway.
the one that crashed now, the Indian one, was that a 737 Max?
Yeah.
I thought they were grounded worldwide though.
No, they're back up now.
So do you think this was another one where the computer fucking overrid the pilot and crashed the plane?
Yeah, that's what I imagine. I was gonna link it to aliens, but I can't remember I was gonna do that.
You just think they're just up in space going, oh look, there's another one of those planes. We can get it.
Yeah, we don't like them.
This will really fuck them up with their conspiracy theories now.
Yeah.
But it has been recertified, that plane, as safe. They've fixed the software glitch, and they can now fly without correcting the path.
For another 5 years before it happens again.
I personally wouldn't ever want to get on a 737 Max, but you can't choose, can you? You can't go to the aircraft and go. You can't go to the airport, sorry, and go. Oh, what plane is my flight today? You know, can we switch it out for an Airbus?
Yeah.
So I don't. These fucking Boeings are falling out of the sky. You know, it's not.
But their stocks crashed, didn't they? For the wind.
Software glitch, was it?
Software, yeah. Good lord.
It's terrible. The fact that they're just like, yeah, sorry. You know what I mean? That's literally, there's been like
my
nothing
bad.
that's happened to, but yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? You know, not that I'm thinking, you know, some executive in Boeing should go to jail. We're just like, who's to blame in this? You know, it's nuts, isn't it? It's just like, yeah, my bad. The software's fucked. It crashed the plane twice.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
You think quality control on an airplane would be a bit more up than that, you know?
Yeah.
Needs to be, doesn't it?
It's weird, isn't
Shit
it?
like that.
Well, again, they're saying like a lack of training in it, but like it was like, it was literally auto-correcting their every move, you know what I mean? But the autocorrect calibration was off, and it was just forcing the plane into a down. We've gone over this before.
Well, they were fighting against the autocorrect.
Yeah, so it's an autocorrection for stalling. So when your nose and your plane starts rising up, it gets to a certain, you know, you're flying through the sky like this. Planes kind of fly like that anyway, right? But like if you start going like that, it's going to stop. There's too much drag. Your plane's just going to go. You know what I mean?
On GTA yet, does it?
So it's an so when the plane starts going like this, it's an auto function that pushes it back like that. But for some reason, when the plane's like this, it's going, oh fuck, the plane's stalling when it's not, and it starts going like this. You know what I mean? So your plane's like going towards the fucking ground, really, you know. And obviously, like as a pilot, you're like, what the fuck's going on? And you start pulling up, and then you trigger it again. It's going, we're stalling, and it goes down, and it just forces the plane. There's no way to override it. Just keeps doing that until you crash, and then you're dead. It's mental.
Yeah.
You can imagine just like you just be like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing, no light flashing or anything. Just like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, it's just like, yeah, mental.
So, after the stories we've heard today, are any of you interested in joining the stock market? Because if I invite so many people, I get my money back.
Are you being serious?
I think I get like 200 quid if I invite 5 people and they all place 10 bets, I think.
Good
10?
lord.
Not just one, but 10.
10.
10, Jesus.
Wow.
So anyone listening?
Write in the comments below.
Yeah. Give me your bank details while you're at it. This is not financial advice.
I am thinking about it, but like I'm not entirely I'm not the type of person to just jump into something without really knowing, like something as serious as that, you know, with a good bit of money, without knowing what I'm doing. I need to know
I did
what
it
I'm
with
doing.
like just 20 quid, but it ain't really enough to do a lot of the stuff. You need a bit of whack of money to do it, you know. So yeah,
I have watched a couple of videos on how it all works and stuff, and I still don't really understand it all that well. But I guess the best way to learn is by doing. That's usually the best way to do it.
But the guy that discovered the old GameStop shorting deep fucking value, he's got like a 3-hour tutorial on how he does his deep dives into companies and tries to understand their forecasts and all that. So I mean, it's probably a good place to look. This guy probably knows his stuff.
Well, is it like similar to 2 years ago, Sean? Me and you did matched betting.
Yeah.
and made a bit of money off that. Fair.
It's just
He
that
didn't-
that's a
didn't,
pretty. There's no.
so-
The thing with match betting is there's no risk if you do it right.
There's no real risk. No, there
It's
is a
like-
risk if you do it wrong. But like, if you follow it properly and you don't fuck up a bet, like you're not winning money on a bet. You're basically betting against yourself. This is the best way of putting it. You bet in one way and then you bet in another way, and then you're getting a free bet off betting so much, and then you're using that free bet to make the money. And if you do it correctly and you don't accidentally put the same bet on 2 different websites, then you'll make money. That's, there is no
Right.
real risk if you do it correctly. So, but yeah, I didn't know
Downside
anything
is
about
you
that.
get banned from pretty much every bookie ever, and you
not
kind of
everyone.
when you run out of free bets, you're fucked. That's another thing.
No,
It's-
because you can go into like the dailies then, and there's like it gets more complicated after that. Then
It
again,
does,
there's risk. Once the free bet side of it is up, then there's a slight risk. But I didn't stick at it to go that far. I went far enough to buy my swanky camera and get some money to spend in Belgium.
Yeah, so I
was
spent
done,
I spent it all on
Yeah.
Belgium, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a free holiday, really. It's worth doing once.
yeah.
Well, thank you for watching. This has been SteegCast, first episode, season 3. We got probably 8 to 10 more in this season to go, including the usuals, which would be like the weird fucking internet. You got the recap episode on the go. I think they are probably the usuals, isn't they? The usual suspects.
Yeah.
Weird
Regular,
Internet is
yeah.
traditionally the 4th episode of
Yeah.
the season for some reason. It just is. Just because
So
it
if
was
you-
the first time.
So if you enjoy them, just ignore the rest of them and watch that one.
Yeah, there's loads of
So-
ideas, but I don't know which order they're going to come out, so I won't give any idea. I won't give anything away now of what's
No.
coming where. But there's a few things cooking.
Yeah. For
As
any
they were.
updates, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at SteegCast, and if you're watching this already, you're on our YouTube. But if you're listening to it, just search SteegCast on YouTube and you'll find us on there. So all cool. So yeah, we'll see you next time, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers now.
Ta-ra now.
Bye.